The arrogant spark. The first shot was not fired at Earth. It was fired at a single man. A human merchant captain, wandering the border worlds with a freighter patched together from spare parts and stubbornness, found himself in the wrong system at the wrong time. Raiders of the Keth Dominion, a predatory empire that saw themselves as eternal hunters, boarded his vessel. They laughed when he resisted. They mocked when he bled. And when they finally threw him in chains, they broadcast their cruelty across the stars. The Keth called it a lesson, a warning, a demonstration of what happens when fragile mammals wander too far from home. The galaxy barely blinked, one human lost, one ship captured. In the eyes of the empires it was nothing. But to humanity it was everything. The feast of arrogance. On Keth homeworld stations, the warriors drank and roared, their tusked jaws dripping with pride. They replayed the footage endlessly, the lone human bound in chains, defiant even as the beatings came. "He does not kneel," one of them sneered. "Perhaps they have forgotten how." Another raised a goblet. "Perhaps we must remind Earth of their place." They believed humanity weak. They remembered old treaties, old hesitation, old restraint. Earth had always been the voice of reason in a galaxy addicted to violence. Surely, they thought, one insult, one human, would not bring reprisal. Their fleets patrolled with confidence. Their governors toasted their dominion. Their commanders mocked the idea of human steel daring to rise. They had forgotten one truth etched deep into human history. Restraint does not mean weakness. The silence before the storm. For 3 days, the stars held their breath. No message came from Earth, no declaration, no retaliation. The galaxy whispered, perhaps humans would let this insult pass. And then, without warning, the silence broke. Civilian traffic across a dozen sectors found itself shadowed by titanic vessels sliding from folded space. Encrypted comms echoed with a chilling phrase, spoken in countless tongues. "You harmed one of ours, we are coming." Orbital satellites shivered under the gravity wakes of dreadnoughts unseen for centuries. Dockyards that had slept quiet flared alive with the light of mobilization. Entire asteroid belts became shipyards, the hum of engines resonating like a planetary heartbeat. The galaxy watched. The Keth laughed. Until they saw the fleet. The fleet that blotted suns. It began as a rumor, thousands of warships moving as one. It became a terror, formations so vast they eclipsed daylight across occupied worlds. Carriers large enough to host cities. Battleships whose broadsides could vaporize continents. Swarming destroyers, escorts, corvettes, each name a memory drawn from Earth's bloody archives. Agincourt, Stalingrad, Midway, Thermopylae, Masada. The names alone carried weight, the ghosts of humanity's endless wars resurrected in steel. Every jump gate shuddered as flotillas surged through, relentless, coordinated, absolute. No pirate fleet, no border skirmish. This was war in its purest form. The galaxy had whispered that Earth was civilized. Now it screamed the truth. Humanity was preparing annihilation. The retaliation begins. The first system to fall never saw the fleet arrive. Keth listening posts picked up gravity distortions, then silence. Their stations, once proud, became ash within moments, glass spheres drifting in the void. When the Keth home fleet scrambled, they found humanity already waiting. Tens of thousands of human warships arranged in perfect, silent lines, stretching farther than the eye could see. Human commanders did not boast, did not taunt, did not roar. One transmission echoed, clear and cold. Return him. The Keth, laughing still, refused. Humanity moved. The fire that consumed worlds. What followed was not battle. It was judgment. Missiles poured like rain, their contrails burning scars across space. Rail cannons roared with the fury of thunder gods. Plasma lances carved through capital ships as if they were paper. Entire Keth fleets, armadas that once enslaved a dozen species, vanished in hours. Their war banners, their hunters' cries, their arrogance, snuffed out beneath the relentless, mechanical precision of humanity's wrath. Cities burned from orbit, fortresses cracked under bombardment. Colonies once considered untouchable fell to human marines descending like storms, their armored boots shaking the soil. The galaxy watched in horror as the Keth Dominion, feared for centuries, crumbled in weeks. All because they harmed one man. The lesson written in ash. On the 91st day, the final Keth capital world surrendered. Their once proud warlords bowed, tusks shattered, voices trembling as they begged for terms. Humanity gave none. The lone human, the freighter captain, was returned alive, scarred but unbroken. Humanity stood him at the center of the Keth Senate, his chains cut free before the eyes of the galaxy. And then with cold precision, Earth spoke. One of ours suffered at your hands. You will suffer at ours. Let all species hear this truth. Humanity protects its own. The terms were carved not in treaties but in occupation. Keth fleets dismantled. Keth worlds disarmed. Keth pride erased, their very banners forbidden to fly. The galaxy trembled. The aftermath of silence. When the fleets withdrew, silence reigned. Not the silence of peace. The silence of fear. Stations across 100 empires whispered of it. How Earth had unleashed not vengeance, but annihilation. How a single human had been the spark that summoned storms. Merchants spoke of star systems where human warships still lingered like shadows, reminders that retaliation was always near. Envoys whispered warnings in dark corners. Never provoke Earth, never harm their kind. They will come. The Keth no longer mocked. The galaxy no longer doubted. Humanity's patience was vast, but their vengeance was infinite. The final whisper. The freighter captain, once broken in chains, returned home to Earth. He lived quietly, a single man among billions. But everywhere he went, silence followed him. Entire species lowered their gaze when he walked past. For he was no longer just one human. He was the proof of humanity's promise. And across the stars, in taverns and courts, in war rooms and holy temples, one whisper passed like a prayer, like a curse, like a law carved into the bones of creation itself. They helped one human. Earth replied with a fleet.